Are you an aspiring remixer? Do you enjoy the idea of breathing new life into popular songs by altering their fundamental components? Do you find yourself clicking through and listening to the same chain of related YouTube mashup videos over and over again instead of checking out that new album you've been putting off for weeks? Are you subscribed to Silver Gunner? You ever listen to Piscord? And you ever wonder yourself, gee, how the heck do those people put them things into the other things that they're not supposed to be in? How do I do that? Well, today, my friend, I am here to show you how, cause I'm a professional. I'm not actually a professional. So the other day I was in the shower and I thought, dang, wouldn't it be cool if there was a mashup between Dance and D.a.r.e from Justice and Gorillaz? And I searched YouTube and it does not exist. And I was like, wow, that really, no one ever made that yet? Okay. I guess I'm gonna make it. And in this video tutorial, I will teach you what I'm doing as I do them. Just kidding, I already did it and recorded some footage of me doing it, but I'll explain as if I'm doing it for the first time, because that'll make it easier to understand. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it wasn't until recently that I discovered a term that kinda finally explained how it was that people did all this crazy mashup stuff. That term is stems. Musical stems, specifically. A stem file is an audio file that contains a track split into 4 musical elements: drums, bass, harmony, and lead. So basically, it is the song split up into different parts so you can actually, work with them, and you don't just have like a single MP3 of the vocals and every single instrument, which is like you could just drag and drop 2 full songs together to have all the vocals and instruments, but unless at least one of the songs is extremely minimalistic, it's probably not gonna sound the best. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna Google Gorillaz d.a.r.e stems, and I'm gonna click on this, and I'm gonna discover that it does not exist. So I'm gonna click on some other. I already looked through all of those. There aren't any. And I'm like, okay, well, can I at least get some for the other song I'm trying to do? Nope. I already clicked through all these. There's nothing. Now, after I discovered this, my next step was to try out something called phase inversion. Wait, is that actually what it's called? It's called reverse polarity. So if I have this monkey sound right here, Kuika as it's called, I reverse the polarity of it, it flips the waveform vertically. And you can look up a video on it, but basically if you have an instrumental of a song and the same song, you can put them together and cancel each other out, but you have to be really precise with it and perfect. I already tried my hand at that. I perfectly lined up all the peaks and troughs, troughs. Again, you can look up how to do this if you want. It's a whole process. But I did that. They're the same bit rate, same exact length and everything. So, theoretically, this should now only have the lyrics when I do this. But it didn't work. I don't know why. I think the instrumental is slightly different from the actual instruments in the music. I don't know. But that didn't work. So our next best bet is Gorillaz d.a.r.e a cappella. Now, isolating vocals from a full mix is not the easiest thing to do. This person tried their best. Actually, this person has some other stuff. Some pretty cool stuff. They isolated the drums to d.a.r.e, which I'm going to be using in this remix. So, this is shoutouts to Gorillaz, Green Day Acapella's Instrumentals Live. They made some useful stuff for remixing Gorillaz things. However, their acapella didn't quite cut it, so I found this one instead, which is actually pretty good. I'm pretty sure this was made from a recording of the live version in which they were able to split the tracks into center, or I don't know what they did, but they managed to get it to be just the vocals and the bass. And if your only job is isolating vocals from bass, you have a pretty easy job. So that'll work just fine. And naturally, I already had the instrumental when I tried the phase inversion, so you can find an instrumental of this song pretty easily. Now, finding the instrumental and acapella for the Justice song was a little bit harder. Instrumental was, easy enough to find, but the acapella, on the other hand, So when the first result is someone asking where they can find the thing you're looking for, that's usually not the best sign, especially when there isn't actually anything linked. Like, this is just some guy's remix, and then there's this, but it's not really. It's only like the beginning of it, and then it goes into, yeah. However, there's this rehearsal version which only has the vocals and the piano, which is, it's workable. However, there is also this other website called phonicmind.com, which allows you to, okay, so there, you can drag an MP3 into it, and then it tries its best to isolate vocals. I did that with dance. I think I used a combination of the original song and that rehearsal version to get what I needed. But it only lets you listen to like a certain snippet of it, so like there's ways around it. If you like cut out a 30-second part of the song, like the parts of the vocals that you want, and you loop it for 5 minutes, then you put it in there, it'll trick it into giving you the only thing that you need. There's like a limit to how many things you can do for free, or you can pay money to do stuff, but who has that? On the other hand, if you are a sound engineer, you can download ISSE, which is I tried it for a second and I was like, okay, this is, You could theoretically get really nice manual results with this, like you do the computer's work for it. That Phonic Mind is probably doing something similar, but it's hard. But yes, to summarize, in place of stems, we are using a combination of instrumentals and acapellas, and if we don't have acapellas, we have to do our best to make our own. So, now that we have the components we need, you just gotta drag into the Flustadio. So yeah, Justice Instrumental, yeah, Gorilla's acapella. Wow, congratulations, you did it. Just kidding. Okay, so first of all, you need to actually get the tempo correct. So, okay, go to the beginning of the song, cut out all the stuff at the beginning before it actually starts. Okay, so, let me explain. The live version of this song, the guy was just drunk out of his universe when he, I don't know what, we're not gonna be using him. Okay, so here, I need to find just the first like beat of the song when it actually starts. So it's dun dun, that bass hit right there. About right there, hold down Alt to move it more precisely. Take a little cut snippet off, delete that. You've got to pray. Maybe that's the beginning. Now we need to adjust the tempo of our song until beats are on beats. So like there's another beat right here. That right there, that needs to be lined up somewhere. So I already know the tempo of this particular song is 120. If you don't know yours, you can just right click and like tap it and then tap it to the beat of the song and you'll figure it out. So yeah, that lines up. You want to make sure it continues lining up for the entire song. And yep, those are still on the beat. So we got that. However, Justice now is not going to be the same. So we have to, first of all, once again, cut out like to the beginning of the thing. That'll be right here. Alright, and there's a beat right here, which you can see is not remotely lined up. So what you have to do for this, double click it, set the mode to stretch, and now basically you just have to kinda move it around until you get something that makes sense. A little too much. Oh, you can also drag this time thing. Okay, we'll first set the multiplier up a little bit. So I want that right there on this line right there. So I'm going to drag the time down until I get it about there. There, now they're about lined up. You've got to press it. There. It's probably not going to be like that for the whole thing, so look ahead. That, as you can see, is slightly off now, so we need to adjust a little bit. I'm gonna go to the very end now and see what we got going on over here. Now this, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be right there, so To be more precise, I'm going to click and drag while holding Alt right here. Actually, I'll just... Yeah, that's supposed to be like right there, so let me just drag like that. And I think that's good. Now if we go to any like line throughout the song, it should roughly be right. Okay, it's not perfect. You have to adjust it a little bit more, but you know, that's the basic idea. Oh, by the way, pro tip. If you're trying to zoom in really far, but you feel like you don't have enough precision, go to Tools, don't go to Tools, go to General Settings under Options, go to Project, set the time base PPQ to 960, and now you can zoom in 10 times as much, so you can be way more precise with lining these up. I already did this on my own, so I'm not gonna go through, but basically you just need to like stretch it properly until it lines up perfectly. You gotta make sure your beginning beat is like actually where the beat is, and you gotta stretch it so it's good. Alright, so the songs are the same tempo now. I'm going to just ignore the intro of both of these and just kind of... Hold on a second here. So the song actually starts here, and the lyrics start here. You may notice things don't sound quite right. That's because these songs are in different keys. I'm going to show you how to find out the key of a song. Your FL keys, or literally anything that makes a note, but this is the simplest thing. You listen to the thing. You hear that bass note right there? Figure out what that is. If you can't figure it out, look up Synthesia for the song. It'll show you like a MIDI that shows you all the notes. So that's a G right there. Now I need to figure out what the bass note for this song is. It's F sharp or G flat. I don't know, who cares? It might not always be that simple, but for these particular songs, the keys seem to stay the same throughout for the most part, so that works just fine. So basically, our Gorilla song is one semitone higher than this song. You can either raise this one semitone or lower this by one semitone. I chose to lower this by one semitone. Once again, change this to stretch. This pitch range right here, set that to 1, because you're only trying to go down one semitone. Set this all the way down, and then... You got to press it. Yeah. You just think it. That's what you do. There you go. Now, if you're really lazy, you could literally just upload this. If you're really happy with that, you could just upload this and include the parts where they start to desync, because a lot of songs will sometimes like skip a beat every now and then. I know this happens at some point, probably like right here. See, like the chorus starts right here now for d.a.r.e, but Justice, it starts like not there. A lot of people, you'll notice, just don't even bother to change that, but like, come on, man. We're pretending to be professionals here. You gotta at least, oh, set this off a stretch again. If you're gonna do anything, you might as well at least like fix that. So like, where's the beat star on here? I think it might be like right here actually. Again, I didn't perfectly align this, but I'm just going to... Hold on a second. So right here, they start to line up again, if I move it like that. Make sure the things line up or it sounds really bad and awkward. And so, if you wanted to, you could just like, fix whatever that you just did to make it flow again, and just kind of upload it like that. But I think we can do a little bit better than that. Let's get a little bit creative. Let's just see what else we can do with this. We're not gonna be using that, gentleman. As I said, as I will continue saying, maybe I'll put in one at some point, but no. Why are they letting it? I'll probably have them somewhere. me see how this other run sounds there, though, with the piano. Please stop. Alright, so here's what I got. I am going to do my best here to go through every little thing and explain what I did. So first of all, the intro. The dance intro is twice as long as the d.a.r.e intro, so I did two things here. First of all, I just stretched this out. The reason I did that was that rising, like, shepherd's tone kind of thing in the background there. I wanted that to keep going, but that doesn't sound too well on its own. So I also just took the isolated drums I mentioned before and just looped those a bunch. And the volume of this is at 0 right now. This is going to control the volume, so it's going to come in at the end here. And then I have a delay that activates for this particular part. So this is the instrumental up here. And then this is that one acapella. Oh, you can't hear it unless I go over here. Going to the piano, I use another version over here, but I'll get to that in a second. If I don't have this delay here, then it just doesn't really... Yeah, I need something to fill the space in between these two parts, so I just added a delay. Volume for the instrumental comes in. Oh, almost forgot. So the acapella for d.a.r.e, I did a little bit of EQ on it. So before I did this is what it sounded like. Now that bass, remember when I said earlier it's very easy to isolate the vocals from the bass? We don't really want that bass. We already got bass on the dance song and it just doesn't sound the best together. So I just cut out the bottom thing. I boosted this section a little bit just because it's hard to explain my reasoning for where I boost and lower certain things. It's generally just like what sounds the best with the other mixes I've got going. Just like if I don't have it like this, like boost all of that, then if I have this. Actually, So originally I was going to have the high ends on the vocals here cut out a little bit, like just lowered that. But is there any reason to do that? I don't know, I'm gonna have it like this. EQ is very, like, you just have to have a feel for it, and I'm not sure if I have the right feel for it here, but this just feels right to me, personally. But the most important part is that you just cut the bass out. And in case you didn't know how to do it, if you click here, you can set the shape of this thing, and if you put like scroll that, you can have it sharper. See, I got the EQ for that. I also added the isolated drums here again, just because, I mean, I think it sounds better with it. Yeah. And then over here, okay, so this part right here. So this was, I used Phonic Mind for this and isolated this. Actually, someone else did it in my chat room while I was streaming this. I forget their username. I'm sorry. Shout out to whoever. They're the ones that showed me that website. But they put the intro to the original song, the non-instrumental version, into it. And since there's not a whole lot of instruments going on, it was able to do a pretty decent job for this part. So you don't have the piano here. Then, okay, so I have the Gorillaz vocals coming in here with the Justice instrumental, and I wanted to do the reverse over here. The Gorillaz instrumental with the Justice vocals. But generally, in songwriting, you want things to have a certain flow to them. You usually don't want to just immediately cut to like, let me show you what that would sound like if I just cut straight to that. I mean, it would be a little bit better than that, but like, it's still like, there's no connective tissue, you know what I mean? So what I did here was I had this part of d.a.r.e come in, where it's not like, it doesn't have that synth, it's a bit more minimal. So, you know, you start out with the things that don't have all the instruments, then you lead into more and more instruments of the thing as you fade out the other instruments. This section of dance has only the strings right here, pretty much. And some drums. So, as these instruments start coming out, these instruments start coming in. Then here's that rehearsal version of the piano. Okay, so yeah, this was Phonic Mind, and I put this into Phonic Mind. That version of the piano, and it was able to do a decent but not perfect job of isolating the vocals. That doesn't sound very good like that, so I put this insert here that lowers the volume and like just does a fade out on it. And you can see where the waveform kind of cuts out there, so I had that fade out before that. And then I have it come back in for the next thing. The reason these look weird is because one trick I like to use is just use like a single automation clip. By the way, if you don't know how to do automation, just really quick, just in case, I'm sure most of you do, but you send it to a mixer channel here, you go to the mixer channel. On this particular one, I had this up here, I pressed R to reset it, copied it, press C, press A to make an automation clip, or just click that, whatever. And then it'll make a thing, and you can move the things around, right click to new points and stuff like that, make new points. You can find the thing on the channel rack and take like the maximum knob and right click and paste it into the thing, so now it's like that. Because if you don't have it like that, then the top of the thing will have the volume all the way up there, which is probably not what you want. And this is just all part of like the same thing, basically. Like you can see here, this is the same as that, I just cut that part out. It just lets you save some space by not having to make a separate automation clip for every single one of these. You can notice there's a little bit of an S sound because there's an S sound because that's the end of the thing. I couldn't get that perfect, and if I don't have that, it's like, it's pretty obvious at the beginning, so I just had this fade in, and it's a little bit harder to hear now. And at the end, I have this going. Okay, so real quick to explain this, let me mute that and this. This right here is fading out as this right here is fading in. This, you don't need to worry about that. Because they start playing different chords, so I need them to like, if I just cut it like this, it wouldn't really work good. Yeah, like, whatever, so I fade them out and fade this in. And this is the same as what I had earlier, except now I also have the dance vocals in. I did a little bit of automation for the volume of the piano acapella here, just because because we already had this going on over here, and this was at a normal mix, like with all the volume levels. So if I just added this and I didn't like lower the volume or anything, it would sound like a little bit too cluttered. It's already kind of cluttered, but like, you know, I don't have any stems, man. This is the best I could do. And I think it sounds decent enough, but yeah, if it was the normal volume, it would have been like a bit too much. So I lowered that a little bit. And I made sure it comes back up at the end when everything starts becoming a little more minimal again. And then, so this part's cool. Okay, so at the end of the live version of d.a.r.e, there's this little bass solo thing that happens. I put some EQ on that as well. Just to make it stand out more, because without it, it's just kind of... I don't know. I like the bass sounding like this. Also put a wave shaper on it to make it a little more... I don't know, it did something that makes it sound better in this particular case. I think wave shapers, like, they make it sound a little bit brighter, like, slightly more distorted. I don't know, man. And I still got the dance vocals with the piano over here. But I also wanted these to come in. But I didn't want to have them occupying too much of the same space, so I made a automation clip for the panning by right-clicking the thing over there. And I have it start in the left ear over here, and on here it starts in the right ear. Yeah, you get the idea. Oh, also I need to go over what I've been doing with all the mixer channels. Okay, hold on a second. So first of all, master channel's got a limiter on it with the ceiling at negative 0.1 dB, because sometimes I get a little peak above the zero. I know this is lazy, but listen, no one's gonna notice. I have an EQ on the master channel just because I like to see the frequencies of the full mix. Channel insert 1. These are the vocals. So I already went over the EQing I did. However, I also did stereo enhancer because in the original song, vocals are in both the left and right ear. And if I don't have that here, this is pretty mono, which just doesn't sound as good. So I put an enhancer. All I did was click presets, 4 strings, it does the job just fine. There you go, sounds nice and cool. I did some very slight EQ on the drums just to get a little more bass in there. Now over here for these vocals, I definitely did some stuff. So EQ, first of all. If we don't have that, I don't know, I just wanted it to come through a little bit brighter in the mix. And I just kind of cut out these low frequencies by habit because like there's nothing down there anyway, so I don't know. This limiter right here is to compensate for Phonic Mind's imperfections. If I don't have it on, you may notice that the volume is like a little bit shaky. This waveform right here should not be that small compared to this. It fades out a little bit there because the computer tried its best, okay? But we can do better. So I have this. And I'm basically I added a bunch of gain and I lowered the ceiling and I'm just squashing it all together. If I temporarily change this back to what it was by default, you'll see the waveform. You see that, how it's down there? That should be up there. So I squashed it all together. And now it's more uniform. Okay, so for the vocals that come in on the sides of the ears here, I put some delay and reverb on them. You can see the delay 2 level right here. It starts to come in. Yeah, there it is. And I also, there's a trick you can do. You can, if you want to do 2 things on the same thing, I wanted the reverb as well. You right-click this, click link to controller, and you select the thing that you already have. So I had the mix level for the delay 2, and now it controls both delay 2 and the reverb. There's the panning you can see moving. Also, I have the stereo separation collapsed to mono for this part, because I mean, it's already mono, but then I have it come into stereo when the delay and the reverb come in. Because I think the delay I have a little bit of stereo offset, so it's just ping-ponging through each ear. I don't know why I bothered to have it collapse to mono earlier when it was already mono. I don't know. Some things here could have been handled a little bit more efficiently. I'm just showing you what I managed to do to jury-rig this mix together. So that's everything I did there. Transitioning into this part. Now, okay. So these are 2 separate things here. The reason for that is these are 2 different parts of the song. If I just had it come in like this, wait, that sounds fine. That sounds fine. Okay, well, I clicked. I clicked it and I clicked crossfade. No, I clicked one of these and I clicked crossfade with, and then the other one, and then this automation is the crossfade. It doesn't sound like I even needed to do that though, because this sounds fine on its own. Maybe at one point it didn't sound fine and I changed something. I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. And you can see I've also got little kicks from the isolated drums coming in every now and then here. Keep it a little bit more lively. Oh yeah, there's certain parts where I have the piano version of the acapella come into the raw acapella without the piano, because if I didn't, then it's like, you know, sometimes I just need it to have this. At least this part. I actually went ahead and recreated the lead to d.a.r.e, well, as best as I could, which isn't that best. I chose the rough saw preset in Citrus. I messed with a little bit of stuff here. I think I went to the FX and I disabled some of these reverbs, all of them, I guess. I messed with the waveform a little bit, I messed with the volume envelope just a little bit, but it's basically the same as it was before for the most part. This is what that sounds like. Also, I layered that with this. What was this again? I sent both of those to Mixer Channel 8, and I got rid of the high ends because they were a little too intense. Put a little bit of reverb on it. I put a crusher on it, and that might strike you as a little bit odd, but here's the thing. If I don't have that crusher on it, this might just be me, I don't know, but it feels like it has too much fidelity for the mix. Maybe it's because the songs, like the samples I used, aren't highest quality, I don't know. But if I just put a little bit of bit crusher on it, it sounds like it meshes well. Like it sounds like it's part of the rest of the mix a little bit better. Just like a little tiny bit. 4 samples, 100% smoothing. Just a little bit there. And then for the dance instrumental, I just put an EQ on it, automated the thingy right here, so it has, what was that, a low pass filter, high pass filter, I forget which one goes which. The point I'm trying to make here is that I'm an idiot and I still managed to make this, so you can make it too. And then the junk man comes in, because gotta have him. The d.a.r.e instrumental, this is the volume, it's fading back in a little bit. I got Kicky. So what did I do here? It took me a while to get this because I wanted it to be like just right. I put a wave shaper on it, pretty intense wave shaper. I don't even remember what inspired me to do this kind of EQ on it, but just trust me, I experimented, that's what sounded the best. Also, again, very slight bit crushing. I don't know, it sounded right to me. I also got this little percussion thingy. Do I even have that? Oh. Why the hell do I have this many things on this little... Okay, well apparently I EQ'd and reverbed and delayed that. Oh wait, I'm not actually using the delay, but I also crushed that and also put a wave shape on it for this little tiny percussion noise. I was really particular with this because it didn't sound right at first. Like I tried a bunch of different samples and ways of doing it. I ended up stretching these a little bit too to get them just right. I just wanted something that like didn't sound out of place with the rest of the song, but was still like powerful, and I think this works decently. After that, I started doing a little bit of sidechaining. If you don't know what sidechaining is, look it up because that would take too long to explain. But I am doing the sidechaining on the instrumentals for both d.a.r.e and dance, and the vocals are playing out just fine. I also compensated by putting the drums back in, because you'll notice I'm ducking out the volume on both of the instrumentals. There's no drums, so I just put them back in there, and I think I might have put some extra stuff on these. Yeah, so I EQ'd these drums a bit different from the other ones because I wanted these to really stand out and be a lot heavier. So again, wave shaper, because sometimes I pretend I know what I'm doing. Parametric EQ, a little bit of reverb. Get that kick sounding just right. Or as right as I can get it. I'm not a sound engineer, I don't know what I'm doing. And we come on over to the end here, and I just got some other little samples spliced up from the different songs. Then Drunk Man shows us off. Because I had to give him some kind of solo, I can't just ignore him. He won't go away, I had to give him some attention. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and listen to the whole dang thing. So there you have it. I'm sure this was not perfect, but this was my first attempt at doing this, and I think it came out pretty good. Come check out the rest of my channel if you want to see other videos like this, where I try to take Frank Jabsty's throne away from him, because he's kinda... he hasn't really been on it for a while, and it's getting kind of dusty, and it's a really nice throne. I just want to try it out for a little bit. It was very much a sort of, I'm going to try out this genre and see if I can pull it off, and then if I do, I'm going to show you guys how you too can pull it off, even if it's your first time doing it. And I like that, and I want to try to do the same thing. And I got a bunch of other videos where I try to do the same thing with other things, so look at them if you like this. You can also look at my other videos that aren't music related, because I have a bunch of them, but you don't have to watch them if you're just here for the music. I understand, my channel doesn't really have a set niche, so it's not everyone's gonna like everything. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in a different time period. Unless you never watch my channel again, in which case, goodbye.